Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 10. The London game is just wrapping up, the old 10-6 barn burner, which is an expression my wife didn't know until I taught it to her. The old barn burner expression. It's a great one. I honestly, I haven't looked it up, to be honest. Haven't looked up the derivation of barn burner, but maybe I will someday. All right, here to answer your questions. Kicking off the starter stream show. We have K Shaughnessy 9, Purdy or Dak. I'm gonna go Dak. I do love Purdy today, though, against Jacksonville. The counting stats in that Cincinnati game were not terrible. Purdy gets a good matchup today against one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. We have a similar question here from Ty, Purdy, Levis, or Dobbs. In that situation, I'm going Purdy all day long. I'd probably rank it Purdy, Dobbs, Levis, but I mean it's a toss up for me between Dobbs and Levis. To be honest, what's up, Ruckus? PPR start one, Judy, James Cook, or Shakir. He has Josh Allen in a PPR league. Oh boy, I'd probably go James Cook there. I'm going to get some targets out of the backfield probably. Superflex starting Allen at the one spot, QB2, Levis or Stroud. Oh, you got to go CJ Stroud. And what's going to be a shootout today, one of the most exciting games on the slate that we had no idea. We had no idea at the beginning of the season that the Texans-Bengals game would be exciting. But here we are in week 10. Let's go, big country. How we doing? Bobby Dazzler, good morning. Good morning to you, sir. Full point PPR, Jaylen Warren or Zay Flowers. Let's get it. I'm going big play Zay Flowers, not big play Zay Jones. In that one, Green Bay has a pretty good run defense. So here we go. This is a great question today. So reports out of Detroit, Dan Campbell says it's going to be more of a committee than we think. And my inclination would be that Montgomery's going to get some red zone touches today. Gibbs, I think you have to, if you have him, you have to start him. Montgomery's more of a coin toss. As much as I love Montgomery, I'll just give you a full disclosure. I have this decision to make in one of my leagues. Ken Walker versus Montgomery. I'm going Ken Walker in Washington, even though he's been kind of banged up, kind of disappointed the last couple weeks. So anyway, this is a fascinating discussion because this is a great matchup against the Chargers, right? So I think you're playing Jahmyr Gibbs. I think David Montgomery is going to get some red zone touches. His ceiling's a little bit limited because of the Jahmyr Gibbs breakout, but he's still going to have a role on this offense going forward. It's a great buy window for David Montgomery. I still believe that. I still believe that he's going to get those red zone touches, those precious touches in that elite Detroit offense. Daniel DeYoung, shout out to you. T-Law versus Stroud, Kyler Murray versus Purdy, Dobbs versus Carr. Wow. Trevor Lawrence has got a tough matchup today. I know the 49ers defense has been tough recently. I would probably go Stroud there. As far as Murray versus Purdy, it depends on how much risk you want to take. The riskier pick is probably Kyler Murray. Purdy coming off a bye. I'm sure that San Francisco's got some good play, like a good plan today. I would probably go Purdy there, but the upside I cannot deny is with Kyler Murray. And Dobbs versus Carr, I'd probably, oh man, that's a close one. I'd probably go Derek Carr, but it's close. Montgomery or Gibbs is a PPR. Okay, so that makes it even. I'd go Gibbs. I would go Gibbs today. We got Bobby again, Jaden Reed, Musgrave, Uncle Lenny, Michael Wilson, full PPR flex. Well, you got to pay attention to Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson's questionable. I haven't seen. I assume he's active. We'll find out for those afternoon games. But I would probably go Musgrave. Honestly, either Musgrave or Reed, just to be safe. Probably lean Musgrave there, even though it's a tight end. We got Adam, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, or Keaton Mitchell. I think in that situation, you're kind of shooting for the moon. And I don't love Keaton Mitchell's matchup today. He was also questionable. He's going to be active, but he's questionable. Clearly, to me, the biggest boom or bust options. are Christian Watson and Keaton Mitchell. I'd probably go Christian Watson there. A big upside today, but Jayden Reed will probably give you a safe floor. So anyway, I don't love really any of those options today because I just the Green Bay offense just makes me want to I don't even know, puke. So we got Flowers or Pickens at flex. I would go Zay Flowers. Pickens probably has more of an upside. Thumbs up. Yeah, no problem there. No problem. Russell Wilson or Will Levis. Oh my gosh. This is close. This is really close. I'd probably go Russell Wilson. I probably would. Levis probably has more upside, but Russ is going to get you the 10 to 15 points, and Will Levis is a higher ceiling. So I'll leave it at that. I would probably lean Russell Wilson, but it's close. Brandon Handy, flex, McBride, Jayden Reed, or Jaylen Warren. It's probably Warren. I would probably go Warren in your flex today, even though it's a tough matchup. McBride, I know he's got a ton of usage lately, but with Kyler Murray coming back, there's a lot of uncertainty there. That's probably your highest upside play, I would guess. But I think Warren's is going to get a good bit of usage today too. So, all right, Jay Millat, PPR flex, Gus Edwards, Elijah Moore, Spears, Trey McBride. Wow. I'd probably go Trey McBride. Gus Edwards is not really, he's getting a lot of the red zone work, but he's not really getting a ton of snaps. Elijah Moore, tough matchup against Baltimore. Tajay Spears, Derrick Henry's still the primary back there. I know they're splitting touches, but Derrick Henry's going to get all that red zone work. For that reason, I probably would go Trey McBride in that situation. Excuse me. No problem, Tommy. Does the weather in the Buffalo game worry you for pass catchers? I'm going to be honest. I'm gonna look up the Buffalo weather here. I didn't know this was going to be an issue. Buffalo weather. I'm looking at it right now. Wind, no wind. 4-mile-an-hour wind in Buffalo today. I'm seeing 44 degrees and sunny in Buffalo, New York. So unless I'm missing something, I think it should be fine. Today. Yeah, I'm seeing all 40s. It's going to get a little colder later, but I don't think that should really affect. Really, it's the wind. The wind's the most important thing when you're looking at fantasy football. If the wind's like above 20 miles per hour, then it's like, oh, okay, well, that's not great. But for a quarterback like Josh Allen, is probably one of the quarterbacks that's more impervious to those kinds of conditions. And Brady in the past too was not bothered by inclement weather. I think we all know that. Okay, got myself a bad RB situation. All right, Adrian. Well, we are here to help you. All right, so half PPR, got to flex one. Keaton Mitchell or Kareem Hunt. I'm leaning Hunt. I would probably go Hunt. Keaton Mitchell, probably more upside, probably a big play possibility. But I think guaranteed points, it's Hunt. I always go for it kind of depends on your situation too. Like if you're projected to just get blown out, like if your opponent's team is stacked and you need some upside, I might go Keaton Mitchell, throw the Hail Mary pass. But if you need points, if you're projected to win, if you want that locked in like 10, 12 points, like floor that Kareem Hunt has, like he's been getting a lot of he's been scoring a lot of touchdowns lately. They're using him in the red zone. So I would go Hunt there too. So we are caught up with questions. I'm going to run a brief advertisement on the show today, and then I will answer more of your questions on the other side of this break. So hang in there with us. Thank you so much for being here. And here's a message from the Podfather.
It has been 2 years since Josh Larkey paved the way for fantasy gamers to start expecting positive returns from pick'em games, specifically underdog pick'ems. And how do you do it? Well, you look at the slate and you find a great shootout or a sneaky shootout. You also look for a shit show game. 3, 4, 5 6 guys in one game. That's right. You can do it. You can do it. And you can 100x your payout on Underdog. Think about week 1. Jets Bills was a shit show. Did we see the Aaron Rodgers injury coming? No, but we knew the Jets have a good defense. We knew the Bills have a good defense. Why not expect the worst? And the worst is what we got. So if you had gone Dalvin Cook less than, Garrett Wilson less than, Aaron Rodgers less than, Josh Allen less than, Gabriel Davis less than, boom, 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 you can go 6 for 6. Same thing in week 2. Oh, week 2. Oh, sneaky shootout there in Philadelphia. Minnesota's going to be in comeback mode, so we'll go Cousins, Jefferson, Hawkinson, more than. Madison, less than. But also, Swift, more than. Boom, 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 boom. That's how you do it with the Underdog Pick'ems, and you use promo code UNDERWORLD to get a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. You put in $100, Underdog matches that deposit up to $100 with promo code UNDERWORLD. Go start picking.
All right, so I had a total. You're right. Okay, so I totally spaced this. Buffalo's a Monday night game. So I'm doing a rebroadcast of the Buffalo game. For some reason, I thought they were playing tonight. I apologize. Monday looks a little bit dicier. 19 mile an hour wind. But if you have these like Stephon Diggs, obviously you're playing him. Dalton Kincaid, obviously you're playing him. So I don't think it worries me too much like with your studs, but if it comes down between some of those lesser options, right, then maybe you pivot. But anywho, I apologize for that. Okay, we answered that one. Okay. As much as it pains me to say this, it depends, right? I don't know what the Broncos' plans are long term because all the signs pointed to Mims. Like if they would have traded Judy or Sutton, which they didn't do, Mims should have had a role. They traded up for him. It's Sean Payton's first draft pick. But yes, in redraft, I'm still trying to get him in Dynasty. But yes, I think we can drop him. Unfortunately, as much as that pains me to say. Full point PPR, Christian Kirk or Jordan Addison. So TJ Hawkinson is active today, but he's going to be limited. Justin Jefferson, not they didn't take him off the IR. So I would probably lean Addison, but I love both of these options. I'd probably go Addison today. There's Ruckus telling me it's a Monday night game. Yep, I totally. Yep. I had a brain fart there. Stash question, the old stash question from Daniel. Have the Jets defense. Would you rather stash a second defense in Kansas City or hold Quentin Johnston? This is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Are we stashing a defense? Or are we holding on to Quentin Johnston? I would say it depends. It depends on how you feel about your wide receivers, right? It depends on the bye weeks, but I'm going to tell you to stash that second defense because I don't really think Quentin Johnston is going to do much of anything this year. He hasn't done much of anything this year. I don't think he's a very good football player at the NFL level. So I would go with the second defense because Kansas City's defense is really, really good. It's still somehow underrated. I was able to pick up the Kansas City defense in one of my leagues somehow, some way. So I think having that option is better than Quentin Johnston. Again, it kind of depends on your wide receivers. Like if you're really thin at wide receiver, if you have a ton of buys on the horizon, I don't know. That might change things, but I would definitely, if it were me, I'm stashing that second defense. But that's a good question. Flex, McBride, or Kirk, half point PPR, tight end premium. I would probably, even though it's tight end premium, I would probably still go Kirk. I do think that I know the San Francisco defense is good, but I think Kirk, you're going to see a lot of opportunity today. That could even be a shootout potential game. San Francisco's defense, while I still think good, was struggling before the bye week. No problem, Adrian. No problem at all. Bobby Dazzler, stash Elijah Mitchell or Ty Chandler. Probably Ty Chandler because of, you know, it's Madison and then really nobody, and then Ty Chandler, right? Because of Akers being out. So I'd probably go Ty Chandler there. More opportunity, good offense with Dobbs now. So I am all caught up on your questions. I will keep going here. Some inactives just for you to be aware of, right? Treylon Burks, inactive. Oh boy. Not really a player that you were probably counting on. Nico Collins is probably the player that many of you should be aware of. Is inactive today against the Cincinnati Bengals. Ja'Marr Chase, right? Ja'Marr Chase is active. So it sucks, but you have to play him. We don't know how much he's going to play, but it's Ja'Marr Chase, right? And he's playing is super good matchup against the Texans today. Probably going to be a ton of points scored in that one, I would guess. So Ja'Marr Chase is active. Therefore, Ja'Marr Chase has to be started in your lineups. I just can't imagine a world where you're not starting Ja'Marr Chase. So anywho, I can keep going here for a little bit longer. I would say the three matchups today that I'm most looking forward to are the Browns-Ravens game. Okay, we got some more stuff coming in. Browns-Ravens, San Francisco, Jacksonville, and then there's one more that I'm spacing on right now that I will probably remember once I get off the program. All right. PPR, Deep League, Shakir or Trenton Irwin. Wow. So Trenton Irwin's not as terrible of a play as you think, but with Ja'Marr Chase being active today, I would go Shakir in a Deep League PPR. Shakir's been really, really good. So I would go him, even with the weather on Monday night against the Broncos. Thoughts on Trent Irwin without Higgins? Flex worthy. Thanks for the advice. Definitely flex worthy. It kind of depends on your situation. If I'm telling you, if Ja'Marr Chase would have been out, absolutely. Then it's Trenton Irwin, Irv Smith. Then they're really, really thin at wide receiver, and Irwin has a big role. He still might have a big role, but Tyler Boyd's still there, right? So I think it's more of a dart throw, more of a Hail Mary. Like if you're really, really thin at wide receiver, he's probably sitting out there on your waiver wire. I think it's totally fine. Great matchup today. Probably going to limit Ja'Marr Chase. No Higgins. So yeah, he's going to get his opportunities today, but more likely than not, the stat line is probably going to be what? Like, let's say he gets targeted 4 or 5 times, 3 catches, 37 yards. I mean, I'm just saying that's probably more likely than not. So it's better than taking a 0, but unless he catches a touchdown pass, I don't know if the volume still, even without Higgins, is going to really be there. Drake London, Devin Singletary, Jahan Dotson. Pick one, or should we look somewhere else? All right. Well, I don't know if probably not. Arthur Smith probably did not get his medicine this week. He went on like a 5-minute tirade of trying to explain why he's not using his best players. It's very bizarre. It sounded like when I'm trying to explain to my wife why I didn't get the honey-do list done. It's like, well, you see, because I was laying on the couch and watching television, that prohibited me from blah, 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 blah. It sounded really, really bad. It was a bad explanation. But I would probably go Drake London. Dameon Pierce is out today, so Devin Singletary should see a ton of volume in the Texans running game. But I would probably go Drake London. It would probably be London, Singletary, Dotson for me. PPR Everett or Irv Smith Jr. Those are both good options, but I would lean Everett. I would. Can only start 2. Gibbs, Kenneth Walker, Javonte Williams. I think you're going. Gosh, those are 3 really good options. I would go Gibbs for sure, and then probably Javonte Williams. because Kenneth Walker's a little bit banged up, because Charbonnet's been taking more of a role. I think it's a little bit risky. Both him and Montgomery are kind of like, you could see him scoring a couple touchdowns. I mean, that's definitely possible. You could also see him being really eased into the workload. So those are two decisions. I mean, both Montgomery and Kenneth Walker have just really fantastic matchups today too. So that makes it tough. Monty or DK full PPR? Oh, I'm going if that's DK Metcalf, I'm going DK Metcalf all day there. As much as I love David Montgomery, now here is where I would go David Montgomery over Antonio Gibson in full point PPR. I do think Montgomery is going to be involved in the red zone. I think that's going to be his role from here until the end of the season. Montgomery is just that kind of more of a physical, bigger back than Jahmyr Gibbs. So, and that's how they were using him before the injury. So I would assume that nothing's changed there. And Antonio Gibson, I know Antonio Gibson's been better lately, but I do not trust Washington with their running backs. Brian Robinson is their guy until further notice. So I'm going to go Montgomery. Kirk or Ayuk, then Hawkinson or Schultz. The Hawkinson or Schultz thing is a lot closer than you might think, because again, the report is that I'm reading is that Hawkinson is active, but he's going to be limited. You have Josh Dobbs there. I might actually, I mean, I think you have to start Hawkinson, but that's really, really close. And then Kirk or Ayuk is also really close, but I would go Ayuk coming off a bye. I know Debo's going to be healthy, but I think Ayuk against Jacksonville, again, pass defense is not very good. I'm going to go Ayuk there, but those are really good questions. Start Kyler or Dobbs. See, I'll go Kyler Murray. I know Dobbs was really good in his first start with a lot of rushes, a lot of rushing yards. But I'm probably going to go Kyler Murray there. It's close. It really is. It's really close. Start Monty or Javonte Williams this week. Probably going to go Javonte Williams in a PPR. Javonte Williams has been looking really, really good. Montgomery's coming off of an injury. So, and I kind of like Javonte Williams' matchup against the Bills too. Would you start Montgomery, Gibbs, or Montgomery and Antonio Gibson? Okay, so basically, are we taking the guaranteed points out of the Detroit backfield, or are we going to risk some upside with Antonio Gibson? I don't think it's enough upside, as much as it pains me to say, as much as I love Antonio Gibson, and I hope he finds a new home on the Chiefs soon. I think everyone that is an Antonio Gibson stan would be doing backflips in their yard if you can do a backflip. I would go Montgomery and Gibbs. I would. Mitchell or Hunt? I'll go Kareem Hunt. Keaton Mitchell is the upside play. If you're projected to get your butt kicked, then I might go Mitchell, but it's a bad matchup. And Hunt also has a bad matchup, but because these two defenses are really good, but he's getting more of the carries in the red zone, and he's been scoring touchdowns. So that's where I would lean. No problem, Turkey Sub. No problem at all. Monty or Derrick Henry? I'll go Derrick Henry today. I'll go Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, once the calendar turns to November, December, once the weather starts to get cold, I feel like that's when he really thrives. So Derrick Henry is the answer there. Well, I'll answer a few more here. If you have questions, shoot them in the chat. We're fully caught up now, aside from this one right here. Start Shaheed or Shakir at wide receiver. I would go Shaheed. I think there's more upside there for Rashid Shaheed at wide receiver. Shakir's probably got a safer floor, but Shaheed's got enough upside where I would go with Rashid Shaheed there. Again, we'll hang around here for another minute or two. It is 11:26 Central Time. Kickoff here in about 30 minutes again. Nico Collins inactive today. Jamar Chase is active, but he's probably going to be limited. TJ Hawkinson probably going to be limited. But I think, again, you have to start these guys. You have to, in my opinion, you have to start Hawkinson. You have to start Jamar Chase. I mean, they could be limited. They could also catch, right? It's like, so if you don't play them, I think you you will regret it, right? And the Buffalo game, it's the weather on Monday night. We've been discussing this. 19-mile-an-hour winds. If you have your studs, you got to start them, right? So again, the weather's not a huge factor for me. If the wind got up above 20 miles an hour, 25, 30, then yeah. But I mean, you have a couple quarterbacks there, Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, who are going to be able to rip it through the wind. All right, fellas, I think we're going to call it. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me. Again, the Bills play on Monday night, so brain fart that's my fault. So that's a total malfunction of the brain. Happens from time to time. You just ask my wife. So, all right, thank you so much. Good luck in your matchup. I don't have to worry about my Bears. They already won. So there we go. We'll sneak one more in here. Oh my God. Oh, I think I'm going to end the show on this. I am going to recommend that you play Kareem Hunt over Christian Watson. I'm going to stay on brand. Kareem Hunt, you have guaranteed points. There's a real possibility Christian Watson scores 0 today. There's a real possibility he goes off today and makes me look like a fool. But so far, we have nothing. We've gotten nothing from Christian Watson. And I think everybody's starting to realize it. I think everybody's starting to realize, it's a lost season for Christian Watson. Who knows? I mean, definitely a ton of upside there. But again, the injuries, the quarterback situation, the offense in general was a huge concern coming into the season. So I'll go Kareem Hunt. I'll say that he gets into the end zone today and scores you about 12 to 15 fantasy points, and Christian Watson puts up another Christian Watson-like week. So thank you guys so much. Be good, everybody, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.